Awesome, awesome. So we are going to go ahead and kick off our bonus day. I was just sharing this is not a training day. This really is more of a example day of what's possible for monetization for your community model as well as Q&A. So will this work for me? How would this look in my business model? Is it possible to do that with my current pricing? Would I have to change pricing? All those things. So be thinking about your questions as we go, is I want to make sure that if there's that little like, this won't work for me, I want to make sure we address it because I've seen community aspects work for almost every type of business out there. If I haven't seen it personally, then I bet I can do some research and find it. I just read an article yesterday from one of the big marketing industries, and it was talking about great big business, and it said community is the future of marketing. And it was talking about how these huge businesses are running campaigns to start to bring people together instead of just trying to push products on us. So even the big guys are doing this. We have a lot more opportunity as small businesses because this is where we shine. So this is one of the few times in your business where being small is going to be a huge advantage. You already have a massive advantage over the big guys because you have that know, like, trust factor because you're a real human and you really care. So here's just the basis of what we're talking about, what we've been talking about for the last couple of days. Kingdom community, those economy-based businesses are the best way to increase your income, free up your time, and make the greatest impact. All of those happen in community. Kingdom communities are the models that we see represented in Scripture. From the Old Testament, God called his people into the promised land and had them create economies and communities of their own, to where Christ came and modeled this through his disciples and then went and showed how to do this in the early church. So community, this economy of believers, people coming together, has been modeled in Scripture from the Old Testament to the New. It is still the most sustainable way to accomplish great things here. The Lord's ways don't change. We shouldn't be trying to change them. We should be coming alongside him. So I'm not going to go over all these, but I just want you to know that these trainings are up in the fast track group. If you need the link to that, let me know. I'll get you that link. Day one, we talked about that upside down sales funnel. We're not trying to funnel people through. We're trying to take a few and multiply it to many. Day two, we talked about the different types of community. So we talked about the different styles. You can have a cohort, you can have a creator's economy, or you can have a collaborative, like a networking economy. Yes, but keep it quiet. And we talked about how those models fit within different businesses. So day two is a really great day if you're like, what does that look like? What does that even mean? Day three was this past Tuesday, and we really broke down the secrets to the systems behind the economy. The system that frees up more time, that creates consistent income, and creates the impact. Those are the three systems that need to be running behind the scenes to allow you to really build this intentionally and not just end up with another membership. Okay, we are not building a membership site. Say it again. We are not building a membership site. This is not more, content, all these things going on, okay? And the systems allow us to do that. With that in mind, we also talked on Tuesday about how we're actually going to be taking a small group of women. This is not some great big, like overwhelming process. This is a small group, high touch, community-based group where we're going to be creating a kingdom community economy of your own. Our goal is to help you set up, get running, and systematize your very own community economy system so that you can get to those sustainable 5K months. And today we're going to break down what that looks like. So here's the monetization, okay? Here's where we're going to be talking about the numbers. And I just want us to remember, this is a cyclical process. This is not a one-off sale. We are not trying to make one-off sales over and over again. That's the world's model. That keeps us as consumers instead of community. The world wants us buying things as often as possible. We want to create sustainability through that cycle. Okay, we talked about that in day one and day two. I just want you to remember that when we're talking about it. So monetization cycle number one. This is where we go from a free community to a paid program, product, community. Okay. So this would be a lot like the cohort if you join us in day 2. This can look like joining people into a free community. So this can be on social media or off of social media. You're connecting, you're serving, you're giving them an opportunity to see you, get to know you. This is really great for people who are like, I love to serve first. I don't want to have to charge people right off the bat. I like to build a relationship. I like to get to know people. Or if you're selling something a little higher ticket and you just don't want to go from stranger to credit card, right? It builds that trust. That delight piece is where you invite them to your paid product, service. It can be your counseling. It can be a program you're walking them through. It can be a product that you're actually helping them use. A lot of affiliates can use this model. That is a paid offer. You're inviting them to pay you to do something. They're paying you to get an outcome. Then there's the support on the back end. This is where that consistency and income looks like. You're getting them to continue the journey with you. This looks like a mastermind, mentorship, collaboration groups, all kinds of incredible opportunities on the back end. This absolutely is the model that if you are a coach or if you are a service provider who needs ongoing support, this is 90% of the time the model for you. Okay. So lean in here if that describes you. You invite them for free, then you serve them in paid capacity, and then you offer ongoing support as a community. You're continuing that journey. Okay. Now let's talk the numbers. This is where I get geeky. I love this. If you I don't like numbers, just focus on the end goal over there and be like, oh, that I like. The consistent monthly income that I like. Okay. So on the front end, there's a free level here. We know that's 0. You don't charge anybody for free. Okay. Now this is where we'd be picking up at that step 2. Your paid offer, your product, your service. Think about this as either your big outcome, the thing you help people do, right? Here's some different price points. And I just want you to look at the numbers. It does not take a lot. I have what most people consider high ticket. I did not include a single high ticket offer in these numbers. So if you're somebody who sells high ticket, I want you to know your numbers can be a lot higher. I hope you look at this and go, oh, I have an offer higher than that. Awesome. If you don't, I want you to look where you're at here and say, can I get something to these price points? This is a $997, like say coaching package, $997 website development, $997, whatever, your product is. 4 people a month right here. Now you invite your ongoing customers to continue to work with you, continue to get support, continue to engage in community, resources, all that goodness. If you can get 25 people to pay you $47 a month, remember that grows every month, you're at your 5,000. 4 new sales a month, 4, that's it. Then you have this ongoing community support on the back end that just keeps growing. This grows every time you move somebody from here over to here, and that number keeps growing each and every month. Now, let's say, Cassie, I don't sell something that high. I just have I have an intro offer. I have my service isn't that expensive. $297. Let's look at this one times 4. You don't have to do anything crazy expensive here. I've got a client that runs this right here. She sells a program on the front end for $297. She sells more than 4 a month, but I'm trying to show you real conservative numbers. That gets her here. And then she sells a mastermind on the back end where she's there to offer support. She's there to bring people together. She gives them training. It's a group of teachers actually. Again, she has more than 25, but I wanted to show you the numbers here. 25 people at $197 a month for a mastermind. That's low ticket for a mastermind. Look at that number. Gets you to over $6,000 a month. 4 new sales. 4 new sales a month. Look how small those numbers are. Now let's look at let's talk about Sharon. Sharon sells products. So she's like, Cassie, I don't sell $1,000 product. I sell $17 mugs. I sell $30 mugs. I sell $17 t-shirts, whatever it is, right? This could be a book. This could be a download. This could be a digital product. This could be a t-shirt. We're putting in $17, throw in your price here. 30 sales a month equals $500. Yeah, Sharon, I read your mind. I had a feeling I would. Now let's look at this. Okay, how do I go from a t-shirt sale to ongoing consistent income? I'm so glad you asked. You create a community that's bringing people together over a common interest, goal, or thing they want to accomplish together. So for you, that could be a community of Christian women who want to grow in the word, community of Christian entrepreneurs, Christian homeschoolers, Christian, whoever your stuff targets, right? If you're selling an ebook for $17 to how to homeschool your kids while building a business, you could have a community on the back end of that, helping them do that same thing. Look at this, 27 bucks a month, not high ticket. It does not need to be high ticket to get these numbers, but you got to get your quantities up. So if I'm selling 30 a month, it's going to take me a couple of months to get there. But once I do this, then I'm scaling it and growing it every month. $5,100, and all I'm focusing on is front end sales with a community support. Now you could sell those separately, you could sell them together. But the important thing to focus on is you can do this with small numbers. You just have to start to reach more people. That's where your numbers start to balance each other out. So this model here, you can do higher, that's not high ticket, y'all, higher ticket, mid ticket, low ticket. And again, these prices are all very affordable. $47, $197, $27. This is not crazy math here, okay? Any questions on this model? When you look at that, you're like, do you feel like that's doable? Or do you feel like, oh my goodness, that's terrifying? I tried to be really conservative on the numbers here so you can see it's not that scary. When you see that tier structure, is it exciting? Does it seem possible? Or are you still like, oh, I don't know. That seems like a lot.
Cassie, if I could just throw in there,
Yeah, absolutely.
You made it very, it's amazing again how I feel like God is always working and the things I've been in with you, that he's working through you too to talk to me, because I keep asking him that. And I know I just took the camp from you and really narrowed down on what I wanted to do and how to really get started with my apparel business, but also having a book along with that. And I feel like the last few days God has been telling me, as I work on the book, that I need to share it still. And there are certain ways of doing that. And that kind of leads to that second part of in that community, how to go about starting to share that. And I've got some ideas on how to do that. So you just reinforce that by using that as an example.
I love that so much. And I'm going to share, I'm not sure if she's next. Let me see. I've got a testimonial in here. Okay, so she's farther down. I've got a client, Sharon, actually, who uses a book as her lead acquisition strategy. So she actually uses her book to call out the right people, and then she moves them through with the book. I've got another client who she's in the process of writing her book, but her goal is to write the book and then build her community around the topic in the book. So books are incredible tools for this, guys. Products are also really good because there's something tangible. So for example, I have a mug here with a fun little saying on it, right? It's something that's tangible. It's easier to sell a tangible item a lot of times than it is to try to sell an outcome, especially if you're not like a salesperson. So getting them with a book, getting them with a product, getting them with something they can actually hold and download and read is an easier way to start that process. And then you continue it in the community. So I love that. Love that. Love that, Sharon. Oh, yay. Bree's in here too. Awesome. Hey, gals, if you all are hopping in now, we're just sharing some community monetization strategies, okay? I don't want you feeling like you're missing out. We're just sharing some examples on how you can take a singular offer, turn it into back-end support, and then really hit those consistent 5K months. And y'all, I just want to hit home for a minute on why the consistency is so key. I have been in business for a long time. I started as an entrepreneur when I was in high school. I started selling baked goods. I went into college as an interior designer with a business degree. While I was in school, I started working at a retail shop, went straight from working in the retail shop to owning part of that business and doing retail and design for years into my online business. I have never not been in sales. And I can tell you from over 20 years of experience now, it is exhausting to always be focused on front end sales. If you are always focused on front end sales, which is what the world's model teaches us, it wears you out because you're having to constantly try to convince people to buy. It's just, some people love it. If you're a natural salesperson, go for it. But for most people, it wears you out. So this right here, I want you to look at these numbers. Whoop, 4 sales a month, 4 new sales a month. And if this is a package, you don't even have to make that many a month if you're doing that in a package program. 30 sales, very small numbers, but then look at these relationships you get to build over time. Oh, now these are the women who I get to go with. These are the women I get to connect with. These are the women I get to journey through life and business with. So it's so much more fulfilling and it's so much less sales, which is just, oh, to me, it just changes everything. And yet again, this is really realistic over here. I want you to see these numbers. It takes some time to get there. It's not like you just turn it on and then you're there. But over time, I'm talking like 3 to 4 months, not like way out, but like it takes a little bit of time to get the structure. You can be seeing that consistency. It doesn't take having to sell 100 packages, right? Makes all the difference. So here I'm going to just share some stories with you along the way. This is one of my, again, I feel like my clients are friends because we do life and business together in community. Sarah Grace lives in Tennessee. She actually lives probably pretty close to where you were talking about, Teresa. She lives kind of a little bit like west of Chattanooga, but kind of in that area where it's very rural. And she is from like a small town. Like her family has been, like she's just a small town girl. And she has been able to do an incredible thing with her online business. I want you to look. This is from her website. This is not me making this stuff up. She has had over 300,000 views on YouTube and has served over 1,900 students in a small town, Tennessee. Now, she is an absolute sweetheart, and she has been able to create a community around cookie decorating, which to me, I'm like, who knew? Who even knew that was a thing? But she serves other women, other moms, other people who are creative and want to be able to stay at home and make income, and teaches them how to create beautiful cookies. She does this through automated courses, digital products in a community setting. So the community is what keeps people together and creates the consistency in her income. Sarah Grace, she's awesome. She's actually teaching, because we do a lot of teaching on how to get clients off of social media. She actually has taught a YouTube content strategy inside our community where she's laid out a whole course on how she did this. So super, super exciting. Now, monetization cycle number 2 is where we have the tiered communities or services. So I want you to think about this. If you're like, I don't just sell one thing, I kind of help my people on a journey, right? I help my people accomplish something that's at different levels. So this is where you can invite them in at a low ticket price or a high ticket. There's 2, I'll show you one model that's higher, but you invite them in for a bite, right? You get them in and you help them get an outcome. You give them a sample, you give them a taste of what's to come. When they've accomplished that, when they're ready to move on, you move them then to the next tier of support. Now, what this does is it allows them to move consistently through your business without you having to sell to them over and over again. You're not trying to sell. This isn't a slow ticket funnel. This is actually bringing them in and supporting them on their journey. So this is where you're serving through community at each and every level. Teresa, this could work really well for you. I don't know how your business is structured, but like if you brought them in and helped them with one thing in their relationship, and now they're looking to be able to go to that next level, a tiered model can work really well for that. Here's some examples of price points. You can see most of these are lower. I threw in one higher down here, and then again, different price points on the back end. So this one usually starts low and goes high. Where on the other one, we started high, and then most of them we went low. So I want you to be thinking about, how do I want to try to sell? How do I enjoy serving? This works really well if you are somebody who your client and your audience aren't used to paying very much upfront. So again, if you have somebody who's like, ooh, I don't like relationships, you're not selling an outcome where they can monetize that. If you're selling something that doesn't have a big sexy outcome, it can be hard to be like, hey, pay me $900 a month, right? So smaller ticket up front, $27 mini course, $27 community, $27 support at 50 sales, $13.50 a month. Then when they're ready to do that next thing, they're ready to advance, then you would have the back end support. Sarah kind of did this in her model because she would get them in with cookie decorating, and then she actually helped them build a business. So she could actually kind of fit this example too. She would sell them a low ticket community on the front end, how to decorate beautiful cookies. And then she had a level 2 where she would actually help them start a business if they wanted to do it as a career. So her model could kind of fit here as well. Here's one for $297. If you have a mini course, a mini program, a little mini support that you sell people through, then you move them into a mastermind model. Then you move them into something where they're able to advance to the next stage. This one here is if you have a reverse, kind of a higher ticket on the front end, and then you move them into that more support, kind of like we talked about on the other, but it's the next step. Again, look at these numbers, guys. Small numbers, small numbers. This one has to be a little higher because look at the price points, much lower price points. This is so beautiful because you're keeping people connected at every step of the journey. I'm not sharing Gail's story here. I'm sharing our community here, but Gail is one of our clients who came in and did this where she has I think it's $27. She has a lower ticket community at the front end, and then she invites them to a mastermind journey once they've been connected in that community. It works really well for her because she doesn't like she's not comfortable with a lot of sales. She likes to be able to invite people in for something really low with a huge value and then supporting them through that journey. So this is really good for you if you're like, I just don't like sales. I just don't want to ask people to pay me big money up front. It makes me uncomfortable. If I could just have it like not ever have to ask, this is a great model for you. This is a model that we've used to grow my business, Christian Women Business Builders, for years. So we have a $47 grow community. We help you grow your business from the goodness of God. We have strategy, we have mindset, we have prayer guides, we have resources, we have toolkits. Like, it's incredible. $47 a month. For most business owners, that's like, yes, no brainer, right? I get to hop in on coaching calls. It's an incredible community, $47 a month. Then for people who are ready to go to that next level, we help them build a community of their own at a higher ticket offer, higher ticket price point, because they're ready to take the next step. They're ready to do a more specific thing. And this is just some of the stuff that I love about a community. So these are people who have come in here and joined one of our lower ticket programs. They love you. You're not having to convince people to buy your stuff because they already love you. Like, this is so good. I love this. I've never heard of this. And you can see how many people are hopping in here and joining these programs, and they're getting value. They're learning from you. They're getting wins. So it's so much easier to move them up that support ladder. Let me know if this one is making sense. When you see these numbers and you see that tiered, okay, I can serve people at a lower ticket price point, and then I can move them up for ongoing support when they're ready, instead of trying to sell to them at the front and these great big packages. How does that make you feel? Does that encourage you? Does that make you feel like it's a little bit more possible? Teresa, is this a model that you've ever used in your business? I don't know if you can share. I'll trade up my drink. She may not be able to chat. But this works.
Yes, maybe somewhere in between the two that you've shared. I'm not exactly sure. I'm really new at this, and and I definitely see, the numbers, the compounding, and just for me right now, it's the number of bodies is what's like, yeah, no. So,
yeah,
but
so
I totally get it, and I'm intrigued and I'm interested. Yeah,
I don't know, again, your model well enough to speak to it. One of the things that's important for when you're identifying in your model, like where would this fit, is are you the most comfortable selling up front? Like if I just put an idle client in front of you and I introduced you and I said, hi, Sarah, this is Teresa. I really think she could help you. I want you to think about the thing that you're like, yes, this is what I know is going to help my people. That is oftentimes going to be the best front end piece for you. Because if you're like, I can absolutely help you, my one-on-one coaching, this is another great model for one-on-one coaching. My one-on-one coaching, I actually just worked with a client. We're doing a collaborative offer. She's not a client of mine, but she's somebody who I work with. She does this model here where she serves at higher ticket than this, but she serves one-on-one, and then she moves them into a group coaching model on the back end where she's like, I get my people the result, and then I'm there to support them. Whereas, again, Gail, who I was just sharing you with, she's like, I want to make sure I'm serving people and helping them and connecting them before I ask them for more money. And her coaching, her mastermind is super affordable. Like, these are her prices, 27 and 197. So just think about, what do I feel most comfortable offering? And what do I really enjoy getting out there and sharing the most? That's how you're going to identify which model really fits for you. And then again, we can tweak around the numbers a little bit. So our last one, I promise you I'm just going to do 3. I don't want to give you too many numbers, make your eyeballs go haywire. I just want you to start to see how this works with all different prices. Okay. This is where you have one community. This is the simplest. This is the easiest, but there's still opportunity for additional add-ons, upfront products, or affiliate back-end sales. Okay. But you're just focused on one thing. So if you're somebody who's like, Cassie, I don't want to have different moving pieces. I just need one thing. It's all there. That's where I put all my all my bells and whistles, right? So this one, you're just inviting them to join the community. You are focused on that community. You are loving on them. You're focused on retention. You're focused on growing that community. You can have other people come in and teach. You can have affiliate offers in there. You can offer little one-off upsells, a lot of times one-on-one coaching packages or something like that. But really, you're like, this is it. This is my place. This is where everything lives. Connection is the main focus here. You just want to keep people connected to you, to others, to what they're doing together. So this is where you're like, my community is my business model. And this works really well for people who are constantly creatives. They're constantly creating something and they need a place to house it without trying to sell a million things. Or for somebody who's the opposite and doesn't want to create a whole lot of product, but wants to create one space where they can serve through live events, bringing others in, all of that goodness. So it can kind of go either way. Now let's look at some numbers here. Y'all going to see all kinds of different numbers. This works for a lot of different models. I've seen a lot of, whoop, I'm going the wrong way here. You'll see a lot of these kind of prices in ads, low ticket prices. This is a numbers game. If you have a $27 a month community, you need more people in there. You just have to have a way of reaching leads. And again, running ads is a great way of doing that because you're looking at the lifetime value. So 150 people sounds like a lot, but I want you to think how many people are out there on the internet right now, where if you had a way to reach them at $27 a month, you could start to serve them. Now on the back end here, you don't have to have this, but people like to buy from you. This can look like Amazon links. This can look like book sales. This can look like affiliate offers. This can look like all kinds of different things. A one-on-one call with you, a Voxer add-on, like all kinds of stuff, right? This one right here is if you're like, I just want to be able to serve my people, grow a community around what I love to do. Crafters, artists, authors. This works really well for book clubs, all kinds of different low ticket groups. Now, let's say that you have a higher value opportunity and you want to do more of kind of a group coaching collaborative style. This is where you want to bring a smaller group of people. Look at this, 25 people, not a ton of people, but you're bringing them together over a shared opportunity, something you're helping them do. This works really well for service providers, really well for service providers. If you're like, I want to teach people how to do something, but I don't want to sell this huge, expensive course, and I don't want to have this huge program, and they need ongoing support, and they have questions, and they want to kind of help each other. This works really well all day long. 25 people, guys. Let's say you are a affiliate for ConvertKit, and you can make $97 a month. 10 people upgrade, you just made another $1,000 every month. Every time you do it, you make more. Again, you're right at it. Total of 25 people you're serving. That's not high. That's not big numbers, right? And then this one's even smaller. Let's say you're like, I just want to do a mastermind. I just want to get together a small group of people. I want to go deep. I want to really serve. I want to really build that connection. I want it to feel like a little family. 8 people, guys, 8 people. Then let's say that you have something that you help them do on the back end. Like this could be coaching calls. This could be, again, there's all kinds. Oh, this was actually a front end model. I was going to do this as a book. Let's say you sell a book. You have a $15 book. You sell, this would be a front end. If you sell a $15 book, you get 30 people a month. Book sales aren't where the money is, guys. Product sales, not where the money is. But you invite out of 30 people, you say, you know what? I'm going to help you do this thing. I'm going to help you find people to do this together. You get 8 of them to say yes, you're right there. So it doesn't take a lot. Look at that number. And again, that's with 8 people. That's a pretty small number. So this one here is Allison. Allison is such an incredible example of this. So this is, she already had her community level built, but we're helping her scale it. So she just launched a book on educational coaching, instructional coaching for teachers. Very niche group, not an audience who's used to a lot of sales, right? She said, Cassie, I've just sold over 200 copies of the ebook this week, and the algorithm likes it. So she's using her book as a front end sales piece to move them into a mastermind model on the back end. This model is going to create the sustainability for her that she has been looking for with trying to sell her program over and over again. So it doesn't take a lot of people to be able to start to really get this consistent. What are your all's thoughts on this one? Does this hit anybody as like, okay, I really like the simple. I really like just having one thing that I'm focused on. I really like just having one lane. And I don't know, Amy, I think we were talking about the network, like the networking model. This would be your networking model. You would gather people together, $27 a month, $47 a month. The value is in the connections, keeping them connected. And then for you, you would probably be, you could have an affiliate program. You could have something else on the back end. Yeah, exactly. Legal assistance. Okay, I was thinking it was either real estate or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So if you had one program, one affiliate offer that you're like, hey, like let's say it's Monday, right? Like the organizing tool. And you're like, hey, I'm an affiliate for this. I love this program. This is the program I use to help keep all of my business stuff working. You just include that in your profile somewhere. You share about it occasionally, and you can get affiliates starting to sign up, and affiliate income just keeps coming in every month. Affiliate income is so much fun, but it's so much easier to sell it in a community. And for networking communities, right here, your whole focus is just creating connection. There is very little content required from you as long as you get people in the room and get them staying connected. So we're getting ready to kick off a networking style community in our Christian entrepreneur, like our big Facebook group. And our whole goal, it's not content, it's not teaching them how to do things, it's just bringing people together, creating those connections. And again, we're going to be a little bit higher than this. Ours will be 47 a month, but our goal is just to get people in there connecting to each other. So you can see how this model fits, how these models can fit almost any business. And guys, I was really conservative on the numbers. The highest ticket I put in anything was $997. And for those of you all who know about high ticket sales, that's not high ticket. So at no point did I say you have to have a $10,000 offer and sell it to be able to create consistent income. At no point did I say, oh, you have to be able to go and sell, a $6,000 course and get 20 people in there, and then you too can have consistent income. Now, for some of you, this number may be small. You may be like, I would like to make more than that. Awesome. All we have to do is increase these metrics. A community model lets you know what your focus is because you know your numbers and you know your outcome. you know the metrics. So here is our opportunity to be able to, yeah, Sharon, absolutely. Again, with product-based, there's different ways to structure it as long as you know what you want your community to be about. If it's a book, what's the topic of that book? If it's a goal, like we're working with Kathy, she's not on the call now, but we're working with her to help women in memorize scripture. So Christian women who want a place and other women to come together, grow in the word, memorize scripture, and become part of that army of the Lord. That's who she's bringing together. So lots of different ways to kind of structure that based off of the goal of your community. So here is our opportunity. This is in my business, Christian Women Business Builders, this is our level 2. So, oh, absolutely. You ideally want to start the community before the book is written, even if you start it for free at first or low ticket, because that's going to give you the feedback and give you the audience for your book. So this right here, if Allison had waited to write her book first and then try to launch it to crickets and have no audience, this right here would have been impossible. It would have been impossible to sell 200 copies of the book in the first weekend. You want to start gathering your community and your people as soon as possible, okay? As soon as possible. So here is our invitation. Y'all hopefully know me by now. I am not going to pressure you into anything. I am not going to do any high pressure sales. I practice what I preach and I model what I've been taught. And the Lord has shown me that when you serve people and you support them in a space where they feel seen and they feel heard and they feel valued, they're going to get results. So our invitation is to help you do this for yourself. Create your own kingdom community model. And we're keeping it really affordable. We have a monthly option. It's just 6 payments of $347 a month. If you prefer to pay it up front, it's $19.97, pay in full. That includes lifetime access to the trainings. So if you're like, Cassie, I can't get it all in 6 months, that's okay. Or if you're like, Cassie, I want to go faster. Awesome. Get in there, start going through it, start doing the thing. But you'll have lifetime access to the support or to the content. And then we're including an entire year in our community. So you get the community, you get all of the extra content, but you also get lifetime access to how to build your community. So I don't want to talk about that too long, but I do want to make sure you know that that is available. We will be kicking that off September 1st. So just about a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's going to be awesome. It is our first time teaching this. It is our first, well, I've taught the community before, but never the build out and how to do it and how to structure it for sustainability. So you're going to get everything. So super excited. But I want to make sure I answer questions today. So what questions do you have for me? Here are some example ones I just put up here because these are questions I've been asked when I've been teaching this, when I've modeled this in the past. What questions do you all have? Do you all have any questions come up? Do you all want me to answer any of these questions when I put these up here? Do these trigger questions that maybe you didn't even know you had? What questions do you have? Oh. Okay, where to house the community. Awesome. So where to house your community depends on it depends on really 2 factors. Number 1, your goal with your community, how much tech support you think you're going to need with your community. I house mine on Mighty Networks for a lot of reasons. One of which is that they are a community platform. That's what they are built for. There is the opportunity to house programs. You can have different payment access gates for different levels, and it's all in one place. So Mighty Networks is actually built for community, but it has a lot of other options, including all of my courses are on that. Everything's in one place. And they're adding gamification in live time and more automation as we speak. I'm super, super excited about it. Like super, super excited. So we use Mighty Networks, but there's a lot of other platforms out there. So Circle is a good one. School is a good one. Some of your programs like Go High Level and Kajabi, Kartra have community levels. The most important thing is that it works with your existing business. So if you are starting from scratch, I would recommend a platform built for communities. If you're already out there doing things and selling things and you're like, I don't want to make this complicated, let's look at what you have and see if we can add to it. You can use a Facebook group. It is my experience and my wisdom of just life. It's smarter to get your people off of social media if you can, because they're so distracted. It's good for ease of use, but if they're paying you, I'll say that. If it's a free community, Facebook's great. If they're paying you, I recommend getting them off of somebody else's platform, and I recommend getting them into a place where they're not getting distracted. So Mighty Networks is what I use. There's several others out there, but having the opportunity to move them from social media out of distraction land is super, super valuable. That kind of answer your question. And again, we talk a lot more about this inside the program. Anybody have any questions on particular models? I've used a lot of the different platforms, so I'm always happy to share my experience with them. That's my window to make sure I had my time done. Okay, so it depends on your existing strategy, Amy. If you are somebody who is already doing your business on the side, like you're already running your business, you're doing your thing, and your community is actually, like for you, it's a networking community is in your wheelhouse, but you don't want to shift gears and have to be like, oh, well, I want to be able to, now I have to try to sell my people on this. Ads are really, really good because they're automated. Once we get them up and running, you keep an eye on them, you make sure they're converting, but they bring you people on repeat. So ads have a place for your business if you're ready to invest, and if it's something that you are not wanting to actively have to promote in your business already. Now, for you, you may have a huge network already of people who you already work with, who you have relationships built with. You may be part of networking groups similar. You can totally do organic with a community model. I have only ran ads. I've never ran ads directly to our model, like to our community, but I have ran ads to like grow our list with planners and small ticket offers. So I like ads because they're a list builder. No, I have nobody. Okay. VLAs are hard to dig up. Good to know. So yeah, ads are perfect for targeting. Ads will do the searching, the connecting, the promoting for you. But you just have to make sure that you have it on the back end so that it actually makes the most of it. So we do talk about ads in the community, and I'll show you what I've used in the past that works really well. You don't actually sell them into the community at first. You give them something that they value, and then you invite them to continue that in the community. So it's a really, really great model. And it's also something that allows you to be as automated as possible. Now, if you're running the ads, you still have to check on them. If you're paying somebody to run the ads for you, I actually do community ad management. I don't do a whole lot of ads, but I do them for community managers, like people running a community, because it's a little bit of a different model. Very, very hands off. So it's a great way to keep people coming in, and then you just get to show up and serve. You just get to show up and connect. You just get to show up and do what you love instead of having to be the hands-on marketer, organic, all the stuff, right? YouTube is another great strategy. If you're like, I don't want to run ads, YouTube is a great strategy. Pinterest is a great strategy, and podcasting are other not posting on social media strategies. What other questions do we have here? Do we have anything else on this page? Anything that you're wondering, will this work for me? Will this model work? Is this going to work for me? All right, here's where I want to start to answer some questions on our Cultivating Community program. So this is the program. We're actually going to help you do this thing. Like, we're going to help you build your community, structure it, fill it, and systematize it. Because if you don't have any one of those pieces, then your communities will fall apart. If you don't have something built, you can't fill it. If you don't know how to fill it, and you're not going to be able to get, like, why have a community if you don't have any people? And if it's not automated and it's not systematized, then all you're doing is creating work. So what do we cover? We cover how to set up your community so that it is built in a way that frees up your time and energy. Really, really key. We also cover how to fill your community. We talk about 3 strategies: paid, which are ads; organic, which is more social media posting; and SEO, which is long-term content. So that gets you off of social media, except for just sharing about your content. So 3 different strategies to fill it, all work really well. Depends on which one you love. Then we cover the automation. I was about to jump ahead. The automation piece. How do I create the systems that run my community for me? You don't want to be the one doing everything. I promise you don't. Even if you're like, oh, I can totally do it. No, you don't need to. That's how we create the freedom, by creating the systems that run your community. So you just get to show up and serve. You're not having to do all the other stuff. Okay. That's where it becomes so much fun. So much fun. So that's what we cover in the program. Our goal is to have you with a built program or built community, getting it filled and having it, setting up those systems by the end of our time together. And even if you can't, even if you're like, you know, I move slow, again, you have access to that content for the lifetime of the program. So it's not going away. How long will it take me to set it up and monetize? That depends on how quickly you implement. This is not just learning. This is not a learning only program. It's an implementation program. We want to help you learn how, but then we also want to help you go and do the thing, right? Please, please, please do not join if you're like, oh, I just want to learn about it. Like, we're looking for people who want to take action and actually start to implement and do the things so that you can talk to us, give us your questions, work out any problems in real life. Okay. That's where the real value is. In that case, you can be up and running in as little as 3 months. I've seen communities start quicker than that, but I would say 3 months to actually be able to start to like fully run it as a community and monetize it. But we can get you set up in month 1. We can get you filling it by month 2, and you can be monetizing it by month 2, really. But getting the systems in place, I would say at least 3 months. Then the 6 months is the time that it takes to really start to get everything working, start to really hone in on the systems, start to really fine tune what it takes to keep your community up and thriving. Do I have to use a particular platform or tech stack? Absolutely not. I have worked with almost everyone out there. I can give you insight and guidance and point you to directions on each one. We will be walking you through how to structure Mighty Networks if you go that route. We've got like a little side bonus program on how to use Mighty Networks because it's what I use. So you're going to see it. You're going to experience it. So if you want to use Mighty Networks, I've got an opportunity for you to get, I think it's 2 weeks, a month free, something like that. And then you also get access to our mini course on how to build it out. But this works with any tech stack as long as you have those key components in place. Will this work with my existing offers? It better, or else I don't want you in here. Yes. If you are starting from scratch, ground zero, I've never started a business before, talk to me first, because I want to make sure that this model, that the community model, it works great for beginners, but I want to make sure you know who you serve and what you're doing for them first. But if you're already out there running your business, you're selling stuff, you may still be figuring it out, but you're doing the thing, then this is what I want to do to take it to the next level and create consistency. So this is not adding another offer. This is bringing together stuff you're already doing or bringing a new monetization into the people you're already serving. So this is not something completely new, completely different. I want it to work with what you are already building. And then, do you help me structure my offers and community for sales? Yes, 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 yes. That's what everybody's like. Will you actually help me do the thing? Will you actually show me like how this fits? Will you show me how this works? Will you tell me how this works for my business? Absolutely. Our goal is for this to work with what the vision the Lord has already given you, but this is just an expansion, and this is just taking it to that next level. My goal is not for you to be like, oh, now I have to stop what I'm doing and go do something else. No. This is for you to say, this is what he's already given me to steward, and now I'm opening it up and I'm creating a system around it where I get to keep people and I get to serve them longer, and I create greater value. So any other questions for me on the program side? These are the questions that I've gotten up to this point, so I wanted to make sure I addressed them. But are there other questions here? Anything else coming up for you while you are hearing me talk about the program, hearing me kind of share about what we'll cover in the program? It is off of social media. It does include the step-by-step, the program, the process. There's all of the like templates along the way, but it's also got the coaching aspect as well, where we're going through and doing this together. So you do get that support. Absolutely, Amy. Hopefully, let me grab you pricing real quick. We are offering this because it's our first time doing it for as a group in like a bigger capacity. We're offering it at that discounted price. So it will be sold for $3,000 once it goes live. But for this cohort, we're going to be offering it for $19.97. So it is a really, really, really great value. You can also break that up into payments. And if you're interested in joining, then the connection link here, this is the link where you can book a call with me, because I don't want you to buy something that's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. So make sure you hop on a call with me if you are thinking about, is this right for me? There's no pressure. I'm not going to try to sell to you. We're just going to have a conversation. So hopefully that is helpful there. Yes, absolutely. We are wrapping up. We're wrapping up. So thank you all so much for joining. I do want to let you know that we are also including an entire year into our Grow community. We've got business programs in there. We've got all of our templates, all of our resources. We do our community coaching in there, our growth journeys. We've got our toolkit for Christian entrepreneurs. All of that is included in this. So you can actually see how we run our community. So you can be a real-time user of our community while you're building your own, which is, again, is super valuable because you can kind of see how things work in there. You get an entire year in that community in addition to our cultivating community program. So just so you know that that is included. If you have any questions for me, if you want to book a call to see if this would be a great step for you, here is that link. And I'm going to go ahead and just drop it in here because it's a little bit long to try to remember. And does anybody else have anything else while we wrap up? I want to make sure that I answer your questions and see if this is something that makes sense for you, if it's something that you see working for your business, and if it's something that you feel like the Lord has kind of been maybe preparing your heart for. Because I know that most of the people I talk to, the Lord's already been preparing their heart for this, if they feel like this is the next step. So any other questions, any other thoughts for me before we wrap up today? Actually, that's my last slide.
I don't think so.
All righty. Awesome. Well, I hope, thank you for hopping on. Thank you all for the replay will be up in the Fast Track Facebook groups if you need to catch that there. And again, if you have any questions for me, if you have any thoughts, I'm available on Messenger and you can always book that call as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope to get a chance to chat with some of you all soon.